Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. As always, any kind of support on the channel is very much appreciated. It could be through a like, a comment, or subscribing. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Bitcoin and Ethereum consolidate. Flow and is that Lido, LDO, whatever that coin might be, outperform. I come actually bearing very good news for all of you. It says Ethereum just reversed and $1,600 is imminent. Here's why. They don't have an actual reason, and I'll stop being cynical in a couple of minutes when I give you the actual reasoning. Yeah, the cryptocurrency market has, if you will, air quotes, reversed. All coins are currently in green. We are currently up between anywhere from 2 to around 31% for certain coins. There are a number of really interesting coins that are currently pumping right now. I'll get to that in a little bit as well. This one says TA, Bitcoin's price reclaims $20,000. Why the 100 SMA is the key to more upsides. It's not at all. Not even remotely. Don't argue with me. Don't call me names. I don't care really what you do. I'm always looking at what other people have to say about the cryptocurrency space. I don't actively watch, but I look at what the other technical analysis channels are saying, and they move on the same exact whim as every other market is moving right now. I'll give you one gigantic hint as to why the cryptocurrency market is currently going up. I'm sure you can figure it out. I mean, it's probably the most obvious thing in the entire world right now. The news, however, was crypto's going back up. Watch out for these levels. We got to stay above this. We got to stay above that. Nope, that's all a lie. You know exactly where this was heading. Stock futures rise after second straight negative session. People are getting greedy once again. Regardless of what the Federal Reserve has said, people want to make money. There's a lot of Fed raising interest rate, inflation, people don't like it kind of news that's also coming up. But the reason why the cryptocurrency market is rising right now and has been rising and or falling for the last year, and I don't understand how people don't look at reality for what it actually is. The amount of people arguing online everywhere about as to why crypto keeps falling and or rising, because one day it has to do with everyone loves Ethereum and they're waiting for the merge, and then when prices go down, people go, well, I guess the hype bubble burst. No, stop being ridiculous. I almost said something else, and pay attention to the actual reality of everything else happening around the side note. Very big thumbs up and thank you to every other person out there who actually pays attention to what's happening in the world, because I don't seemingly understand why people still are looking at the cryptocurrency charts as if they're moving on their own. What's happening right now is, once again, people are getting very greedy. We've had indications that the Federal Reserve is going to continue to be hawkish or whatever-ish, whatever word you want to throw inside there, on inflation. They caused it. Now they're trying to find a way to get rid of it. However, part of the problem is that their actions are causing a number of other markets to begin to collapse. We are now getting indications that, and we've had them the entirety of this year, but the indications are now that Q4 is looking like a very good time that we're going to actually have a recession, and the recession could completely blow everything out of the water by causing nearly every single industry to collapse. There's even some other, like, there were major banks earlier. I don't even think I have it in the, no, I don't have any of that here because it was nonsense. JP Morgan and a couple of other banks were warning people about getting into crypto and getting into certain stocks that they love, which is also a form of manipulation that banks have been doing for a very long time. They corral people into a certain area or sector they tell people could actually be safer over the course of the short term and or long term. And it's usually just them trying to find a way to manipulate people to pump up prices for something that they're also trying to get out of. Indian stock markets and Asian stock markets that have already begun to open or have their futures going live have begun to rise. It says the Sensex has soared by 1,000 points and Nifty has topped 17,600 points, and the Bahaj FinServ is up by 5% as well. And of course, optimistic Jim Cramer has announced that he thinks that the stock market now, out of nowhere, what surprise, could have a solid finish to the year. I wonder what would make him think that, because 2 days ago he was talking about how the entire thing was getting ready to implode. So, at the moment, there was very sparse cryptocurrency news. It's still rather early in the morning. The cryptocurrency market is going up. A lot of coins are performing quite well. The stock markets around the world are already going up. The US stock futures have begun to rise as they are showing what they could be the potential future price for a lot of these things. When I'm looking around and reading around, especially from larger money publications, it seems to be that it's literally just greed. It's people realizing that regardless of what the Fed says, people need to make money. There's also news right here. It says the International Monetary Fund is expecting the U.S. economy to experience high inflation for at least another year or two. The entire idea of inflation being transitory was a lie from the very beginning. We went over that. A lot of people in the cryptocurrency space still, for some reason, don't understand what crypto is. And I just assume that many people never will at this point. I assume if you watch this channel, you have at least a 90% understanding that these people have been lying to us for a very long time. They've been lying since before the cryptocurrency space came to be. This is why we have Bitcoin. But a lot of times people hear stuff from the people who kind of make the rules and they go, well, why would they lie? Why would they not be telling us the truth? Is because they realize that they messed up since 2008 and there's no way to actually fix the scenario. If they stop printing as much money as they were doing before, and if they raise interest rates, it's going to slow down the economy so much that everything will begin to collapse, and it'll be a multi-year collapse. So the only way to get out of this is to continue printing money. And when they print the money, the stock market ends up going up even higher than it currently is right now. Everyone feels really good. Everyone feels really safe, but inflation kind of remains high at the exact same time. People are making tons of money until eventually the US dollar has hyperinflated. Everyone goes, I don't get what happened, and the entire economy collapses. There's no either or. There's no real way out of this. You either make us have a recession which falls into a depression, or you continue printing money. There's no real middle path that they kind of have right now, because people are constantly jumping on their backs behind the scenes, which you can't really see, basically telling them, turn the money printer back on because we need to continue making money, because everyone has gotten, can't say that word, starts with a D and ends with a runk, off of the idea of having this never-ending money supply. And it's not just the US, it's everywhere around the world that's been doing the exact same thing. So the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are now coming forward saying that they expect inflation to be with us for at least another 2 years, which is an indication that after those 2 years, they're also going to once again announce that they expect it's going to be with us for a little bit more. It's weird. I told some of you this before. If you were watching those videos, the people who were the very first people in the crypto space, 2011, 12, 13, 14, if you would listen to what they were saying, it's very odd because they've been correct on every single count of what was happening, even the central bank digital currencies and all these other things that have been rolling out and what have you. Anyway, also in the news, and this was quite popular as well. I don't care how popular she is or is not to you. It really makes no difference. Elizabeth Warren came out talking about that she's very worried about the Federal Reserve raising interest rates. Part of the problem with them raising interest rates is the idea that they're going to be, they're trying to cool off the economy, but it's not cooling off in the way that they expected. They're not actually lowering inflation in the way that they had expected about a year ago. What's happening is a lot of jobs and small businesses are closing. You must have noticed it. I've noticed it everywhere that I've walked, unless you are a major chain, and even the major chains are feeling some of the pain, if you will, but the other smaller businesses are closing everywhere. It's not really helping out anyone. Smaller businesses are closing, and the people who aren't already rich or don't have, $100,000 per month being made, they can't pay their rent, which is also doubling. They can't pay for gasoline and or petrol. Heating expenses. I don't know if you saw, and this is a direct effect of what's happening in the US, but it's also happening more in other places. The amount that people will have to spend on heating this winter. It's projected that certain homes will be paying anywhere from $300 to $600 per month. And in the UK, it's even higher than that. There's also a direct effect of them raising interest rates. And also food is also becoming more expensive. So this is all that raising interest rates has done. It also hasn't affected, I mean, it's not that they're directly responsible for supply chains, but supply chains are also constantly breaking down. There are a number of countries who were shipping out certain items to other countries who said, no, we're not shipping out anymore because we need it for our own citizens, so they need to be able to eat. So and also, do whatever they need to do until those items are no longer, everything is completely broken right now. So she was completely, was warranted in what she said. Her saying this was quite popular news. I don't know why people in the crypto space love to, whatever. The point is, things are looking bad and people are looking greedy. I think a lot of investors in all sectors, not just within crypto, understand that something major is coming. And I think that a lot of people are trying to make as much money as they can right now before the big kaboom actually ends up happening, because whatever the Federal Reserve thinks that they're doing, it's not actually working. Whatever any other country thinks that they're doing, especially with like a lot of other countries are actually lowering their interest rates and talking about printing more money because they want their economy to go back up again, because it's nowhere near as strong as the United States or other countries. So they need to do this, but all they're doing is actually inflating their currency. So by the time we get to this point next year, things are going to be about 7 times worse than they currently are. And that's the price news. And once again, I think the only people who are realizing this are people, not to say like with money, but people who understand the implications of where all of this is going. And it's not looking too good. That's all the price news. Crypto's rising. Stocks are rising. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin's 20-day SMA 4900, 328. It has nothing to do with anything from 2013 or 17. We are being dragged around by the stock markets around the world based off of the sentiment that people are currently feeling. And right now it's greed. It's nearing, not like on a chart level, but you can feel in the air that it's extreme greed because everyone is trying to make as much money to cushion themselves against what's coming. Just being honest with you, a lot of times people don't like honesty. I noticed yesterday's video. Believe me, I saw it. A lot of people don't like timelines and don't like the truth to be actually told to them, because it makes them feel insecure and or worried about things. I'm sorry I can't help you. The point of this channel is to bring you the truth as much as I possibly can from the news that I'm getting from outside sources. Understand that I am delivering you the actual news that's happening, and I'm not here to pat your head and tell you that everything is going to be great. That's all the price news, at least for right now. There's nothing really stopping us from continuing to rise in prices, if you will. But I think as we near the next Fed rate hike, that'll be the kind of worrying period. And I think at this point, it's supposed to be the 20th something of September. Just depends on how greedy people get. Yeah. Let's move on. In very, very popular news, social media giant Meta announced the integration of NFTs to Facebook, adding that NFT creators can now showcase their digital collectibles across Facebook and Instagram. In a blog post on Monday, Meta revealed that users can link their digital wallets to either Facebook or Instagram, thereby making it possible to post NFTs across both platforms. They also earlier stated that NFT creators and businesses in 100 countries in Africa, the Middle East, the Asia Pacific, and the Americas will be able to display their digital collectibles on Instagram. I once again am going to announce, I haven't heard of anyone doing this. I know a lot of people in the NFT space, and I even know a couple, like 3 people who still use Instagram, and a lot who use, Facebook, and a lot who use Instagram. No, I don't know anyone who has gotten a notification, because anytime that anything crypto-esque happens, my friends always send me screenshots, and they say, hey, look at this, it's happening, I can't believe it. I haven't heard anything like at all. At the time, the social media giant stated that the platform will be supporting Ethereum, Polygon, and Flow. That I think is far more significant than anything else, and no one's talking about that part. The news constantly is that Facebook is allowing people to post NFTs across the multi-platform thing. I don't know exactly how they're doing it or what it looks like, because once again, I haven't seen anyone talking about it or doing this. This news is kind of popular just right now, but the news for me is, out of all the platforms that we have out there for NFTs, they have chosen, once again, Meta / Facebook / Instagram has chosen Ethereum, Polygon, and Flow. That alone should have risen their prices by around 15%. But what have you, third-party wallets are also supported. They will be Trust Wallet, Rainbow Wallet, Coinbase's wallet, Dapper Wallet, and the MetaMask wallet as well. Not a lot to say about this one particular thing. We had news before that after they changed their name to Meta, that they would be getting more into the metaverse and also into the cryptocurrency space. So I guess, they're following through with their word. And once again, Facebook is officially using Ethereum, Polygon, and Flow. Right. See if that does something to the price. And without further ado, let's move on. Also in very popular news, which should not be popular at all, derivatives marketplace Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group, or the CME, has launched trading for the Bitcoin Euro and Ether Euro futures contracts. In a Monday announcement, CME Group said that it launched contract for Euro-denominated Bitcoin and Ether futures sized at 5 Bitcoin and 50 Ether per contract. Both contracts will be listed on the CME, cash settled and based on the CME CF Bitcoin Euro reference rate and CME CF Ether Euro reference rate, respectively. So it's news because the word Bitcoin and Ethereum appear in there. This is not the first futures that we have. This is like the 127th because they're everywhere around the world, especially within the United States of America. The US still does not have a physical Bitcoin or Ethereum ETF and will not have one for a very long time. Just about 2 days ago, the SEC delayed an answer once again on another Bitcoin ETF that was trying to go through, and the fact that anyone is still trying to apply for these things is just nonsensical. Give it up, because, right? The other news basically being, I think that was really it. All we've seen from futures since the end of 2017 is that they've mainly been allowed to go through as a way to short and or bet against the cryptocurrency market. And we've seen that consistently over the course of many years. We even had news last year and the year before that the former head of the CFTC came forward and said the only reason why they allowed futures to go through was because they wanted to lower Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin was looking too amazing. You can look it up. We had multiple videos about it, and I love that everyone completely passed over it as if that news didn't happen. Anyway, so yeah, the CME now has Ether and Bitcoin-based Euro contracts. The big wigs are usually only looking to bet against cryptocurrency. So remember the news before, a long time ago, that every single time, remember Fridays? Anybody? For those of you who weren't here, every Friday that we had was the ending of another futures contract. And for some reason, we were given the news that every single time that one of those contracts ended, especially lower in price, let's say Bitcoin's 20,000, and the futures contract shows that it ended in around 15,000. Can you imagine what Bitcoin's price did? Yep, that's right. It would fall by around $5,000 because for some reason we kept on getting the news that people in the future space knew better than the entirety of the cryptocurrency industry, and therefore we also had to move down to match their price. This went on for like 2 years. All the time. So like whenever we got news that the futures were up, we were like, yeah, Bitcoin can finally go up. Once again, these are not physical Bitcoin and Ether futures. These are literally based in US dollars. So manipulation and corruption and all that. That's the CME has launched Euro futures. Fun, sure. Why not? And yeah, let's move on. Also in, nobody could give me an actual reason for this news. Singapore's central bank, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, is contemplating imposing stricter rules on retail crypto investors. That's you. That's everyday normal people. The Monetary Authority of Singapore regards cryptocurrencies as unsuitable for use as money and as highly hazardous for retail investors, said the central bank chief. A couple of months ago, we had news from people from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund that they were annoyed, scared about the adoption of cryptocurrencies because they said that if the cryptocurrency market continued to grow at the rate that it was growing, it would cause risk to the old financial system. Basically meaning people would choose cryptocurrencies over the other systems. I told you all of this before. It goes even as simple as something as a stablecoin. Stablecoins can offer more, 18 times literally more of a return than any bank can. Your bank offers you 0.1% for a 3-year certificate of deposit. A stablecoin will offer you anywhere between 6 to 12% for simply holding that stablecoin. People realize that the gains are a lot gainier with Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies that might have smaller market caps than the actual stock market. So they said that if cryptocurrencies become too popular, people would choose not only to use them, but this would be a risk to the old financial system, meaning the old financial system would begin to crumble. Just giving you a bit of a back look, I don't know what the word is, as to why all of this is happening. Ravi Menon, the managing director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the Singaporean central bank, got it, talked about cryptocurrency regulation at the Green Shoot seminar on Monday. He outlined 5 areas of risk in digital assets that the central bank's regulatory approach is focused on. They are combating money laundering, managing technology and cyber-related risks, safeguarding against harm to retail protectors, upholding the promise of stability in stablecoins, and mitigating potential financial stability risk, which is basically all a gigantic lie. Sure, why not? Because we keep hearing these same exact things over and over. They keep reforming what they have to say as to why they're doing something to the cryptocurrency space. Years ago, once again, and I know people used to love this phrase, one of the main reasons why governments initially hated cryptocurrencies, not joking, is that they said it was being used by ladies of the night. Yes, not joking. That was one of the actual reasons. And then it had to do with the number of websites that FBI and CIA and ABC were all closing that were selling things that you cannot sell in many countries, that you either or you puff. Got it. Cool. We're all on the same page. And then the other one after that was a lot of billionaires coming forward. This is the 2014 to 2017 region of time frame, talking about how terrible cryptocurrency was because it's rat poison squared, or it's only used by losers, or they've gone through every single thing. The only thing that has kind of stuck, because a lot of people have been robbed or frauded and stuff online, myself included in the cryptocurrency space, is by talking about managing the risks of so-and-so. We need to protect our consumers. We need to protect. It has nothing to do with that. They've just been looking for an actual reason as to why they can put some type of restrictions onto the cryptocurrency space. And this just happens to be one of them. So without having to read the entire thing, because it's just completely ridiculous, they've basically announced that they're going to try and figure out ways to stop normal people from putting their money into the cryptocurrency space because it's bad for them or risky for them or so and so and so. And when this news was floating around on Twitter yesterday, I was asking a couple of people, why? And they were like, read the article. They have to do it. And it's like, okay, well, that's fine. If you're going to put restrictions on people buying, especially normal people, we've had this conversation 9 other times before against other countries who tried to make laws where basically if you are too poor, you can't own and hold crypto. Those were the actual rules. If you were rich enough, you can prove that you were rich enough and had enough assets, you could put as much money as you want into the cryptocurrency market. If Bitcoin goes to $300,000 and Ethereum goes to $45,000 and XRP goes up to $15, guess who gets richer? The already wealthy people. And guess who had restrictions on access to this market? The poor people who are already poor, who maybe made about $45,000. That's cool, but that's not buying a house for anyone. So I said, and no one was able to give me anything back for this. If you are going to restrict retail users from getting into crypto, I implore you to do the same for gold, for silver, for stocks. Make sure that poor people also can buy stocks because stocks are also super volatile. We've seen what's been happening the last year or two. We saw what happened a couple days ago. Remember the whole stock market in many countries fell by like 20 to 30% after the Fed news? That's a lot of volatility. So stocks, bonds, equities as well. And I also want you to stop them from being able to buy more than one property per. I mean, they can't afford a property at all right now because of government, do-how. But make sure that, make sure no one can buy more than one property. Oh, also, and this was my favorite one, sneakers. I don't know if you've ever heard of the term sneakerheads. A lot of people collect sneakers because you can buy them sometimes in the store for like $150 and they end up going to like $900. That's a pretty good investment. But I don't think poor people should also have access to that as well. Make sure that, you make sure that they're only buying one sneaker per year, because there have been a couple of sneakers selling for $16,000. Now they only sell for around $11,000, $12,000. That's a huge amount of volatility. Got to make sure you stop that as well. There's no answer you can give me as to why this is anything that makes sense. They're doing this for a reason. It's because larger banks have realized. Why do you think all the banks are getting into crypto? Do you think the banks just simply like cryptocurrencies now? Oh my gosh, decentralization is the answer. Guys, as a bank, we've been so centralized. We kept everyone's money. We have to make sure that the people have the power. Do you think that those are their conversations behind the scenes? Or do you think that they see the actual network growth consistently? And once again, Bitcoin is pushing more money through the one blockchain than multiple other mega banks around the world. I don't know how people aren't understanding this. All it is a restriction, once again, on poor people on trying to make money. And even more so, if you want to really hone in on, not allowing your citizens to be able to use coins that might actually be dangerous, cool. I got that. Sit down right now as a government and figure out the top coins in the market and only allow your citizens to have access to the top 10. Highest liquidity, most well-known. Have a huge conversation with all the companies who actually run a lot of these coins, the Ethereum Foundation and so and so and so. Have meetings with all of them. Hey, we're thinking of only allowing your coin within the country because of X, Y, and Z. Japan did it. Many other Asian countries did it. There are certain countries that only allow, air quotes, 7 different cryptocurrencies within their country. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, I think XRP, and 2 other random ones. And those are the coins that their citizens are allowed to buy. Remember the news that we had a couple of months ago that Cardano was just allowed in Japan? And I told you why that was significant news, because there are a number of countries, once again, who are fearful of the cryptocurrency market. So they only allow a select few coins within their borders. Doesn't that make a lot more sense to simply only allow your citizens, poor retail investors? Because understand what the word retail means. You are not institutional. You are not rich. You are seen as common and average to the company and to the country. That's why they call us retail. There's a reason for it. Retail shopping. Simply say that at the moment, we will not restrict anyone from getting into cryptocurrencies. But as a country, this is never going to happen because countries don't actually care about you. We are going to make a pamphlet and send it to everyone who's over the age of 18. And we're going to make a whole bunch of things online that make sure that before you can sign up with a cryptocurrency account, you understand what Bitcoin is, what Ethereum is. Hour-long classes. Make sure that your citizens understand exactly what these things are, that they are volatile, that they can make money, and they can also lose 90% of their value. And then you can click make account, you enter your name, go through the whole KYC thing, bam. Doesn't that make a lot more sense than simply banning your citizens from doing something or restricting them? Why not educate them? Doesn't that seem to make a lot more sense? Anyway, this was also gigantic news because Singapore a lot of times is seen as a monetary haven, if you will. It's full of rich people, and therefore they would know what to do with money. But we've seen the last couple of months, no, they seem very restrictive is not the word I'm looking for. Traditional is the word that I'm looking for when it comes to their approach with money. So that's the Singapore might be stopping normal people from getting into crypto news because of, safeguards, stable coins, mitigating risks, news. Right. Stupid, right? No one still, I'm telling you, you will not be able to give me a proper answer because I found the actual answer as to, anyway, that's the Singapore news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also this was popular for 2 different reasons, news. The Federal Reserve Vice Chair Lael Brainerd was part of an event to test their upcoming instant payment system called FedNow. The new payment solution is set for deployment between May and July of 2023. As the government official confirmed, Brainerd, or is it Brainard? I have no idea, participated in the FedNow Early Adopter Workshop, one of the institutions working on developing the new U.S. payment rails along with the FedNow Explorer resource. Community and service provider showcase. These programs all aim at improving the level of adoption for this upcoming product. The launch date for the payment solution, as Brainerd clarified, will heavily depend on the latter and on how fast banks, companies, institutions, and others update their payment infrastructure. This will require a necessary investment, the Fed representative said. And he was talking about how slow all payment systems are. He can't believe it. So we got to make sure that the American consumer can yada, 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 so and so and so and so. The news is that the Federal Reserve has announced that they are not looking at making a central bank digital currency. However, they're looking to make something called FedNow, which will allow for instantaneous payments. The reason why this was gigantic news, because of the word FedNow, at least within the cryptocurrency space, is a lot of people began to look around to find news about FedNow. And wouldn't you know it, we had news about this before. I'm sure very few people actually remember it. We had news that I believe that there were 3 companies who were actually working with the Federal Reserve to create the FedNow instant payment network. And one of them just happened. I assume this is supposed to be Volante because the accent is at the end. Not really sure. And people found out that this was one of the companies who helped the Federal Reserve actually do this. Do you want to know why this is significant, at least within the cryptocurrency space? Yeah, because Volante is a Ripple partner, and I believe that they use XRP. So the news was, or at least part of the speculation was, and we've had this kind of news for a while, and I think people keep looking over it because I think they're willfully not wanting to look at things, but that's just how the crumble cookies. We had news back in, I believe, 2016 or 2017 that the Federal Reserve was actually using and testing Ripple or XRP behind the scenes back then, which was more so known as XRapid. And apparently they got a thumbs up from the Federal Reserve. And then we got news that they were working on their own payment system called FedNow, and they found multiple ties once again to Ripple being a part of this system. I think Ripple was actually one of the actual companies who was also chosen for this program as well, like to help the Fed create a new payment system, which also got completely looked over because, anytime the word Ripple's there, people just aren't paying attention, except for the people who are actually looking at Ripple and or XRP news. So the news that we have right now is that the Fed is not allegedly immediately looking to launch a digital central bank digital currency. They're simply looking into launching something called FedNow. I wish I had the actual chart. I can't find it anymore. No, this isn't it. Someone made or had a chart from the actual website, and it showed like the companies that were being used, and Ripple's name appeared a couple of times. It was somewhere on Twitter. If I find it, I'll retweet it. Twitter doesn't have like the most stable timeline. Even when you set it to like, hey, show me the most recent thing, it still shows me something from like 16 hours ago, and then it shows me something from 8 minutes later. Whatever. Anyway, so the news is, yeah, Fed's not creating a digital currency. They're launching something called FedNow. It's supposed to launch next summer. And one of the, if not two of the companies who were helping them to make this were Volante, who is a Ripple partner using XRP, and also Ripple themselves. So yeah, all the ties are there. You can keep ignoring it as many times as you want, but Ripple's definitely a part of some major thing behind the scenes to digitize the US dollar and or aid in cross-border payments. But, keep ignoring it as much as you want because, right. Anyway, that's the no central bank digital currency. FedNow launching sometime next year. Volante/Ripple XRP news. Yeah. Let's move on. Yeah, these are the prices, looking kind of good. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, GBU Wally, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on. Empire Queen. Roman Geba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony, Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay, Mo Barazi, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Goulet, Lauren De Silva, Quota Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Ternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Anima, Rita, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, where am I? There we go. Nick Manji, Alavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Machanisa, On Crypto with Lionel and Crayola, Michelle, URL. Thank you very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who left a like, who left a comment, or who has subscribed, or who is a clicker of affiliate links at the moment. Bitcoin is currently up by 3%. It is at $20,412. Ethereum is up by 9.8%. And is currently at $1,605. That's a huge jump over the course of a 24-hour period. Kind of crazy. Binance Coin is up by 5.5. ADA is up by 5%. Solana is up by 7. Polkadot is up by 5. Shiba Inu is up by 6 as well. There was a lot of like Shiba Inu coin burn news in the news as well, but it's kind of always there. Avalanche is up by 13%. Uniswap is up by 8.9. Ethereum Classic is up by 9.3 percentile points. FTT is up by 6.9%. Cosmos is up by 12. Near Protocol is up by 9. Kronos is up by 5. Anything else crazy? Flow is up by 12, I assume, off of the meta news. This is what I was talking about before. This is one of the blockchains that's been chosen. Flow also got chosen by another company as well recently. Was it Disney? I don't remember. There was some other major company who announced that they were going to be issuing things or using the Flow blockchain as well, so that's quite significant. ApeCoin is up by 5.3. EOS is up by 3. Sandbox is up by 5. Elron eGold is up by 9. The other really weird one is somewhere around here. Yeah. Luna Classic jumped by like 30% as well over the course of a 24-hour period. It was something along the lines of Terra Luna and Luna Classic. So coin number 1 and coin number 2, if you will, had some kind of an upgrade that happened and both coins skyrocketed. It was trending on Google for a while as well. A lot of people, of course, this is maybe wishful thinking. A lot of people were discussing the eventuality of Luna Classic going back to 1 cent again and back to $1 and all this other stuff. A lot of people are very hyped on this project still. I told you, people forget people forget everything all the time. It's just how people are, I assume. Yeah. That's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.